All right, guys, welcome back to another Men Against Nonsense. We're going to get into this. I'm not going to talk too much. Again, just remember, Men Against Nonsense is a movement, it's not entertainment. We're here to learn and share. Um, Comment, like, subscribe, tell your buddies, help them be men against nonsense. You make sure you maintain as a man against nonsense. Let's get into this.
Drunks drink every day. I drink when I want to have fun.
Sounds like you're just a drunk failure.
A drunk failure? Excuse me? Nah, I've heard it all, man.
All rise for Judge Joe Brown.
Whoa!
Experience, knowledge, and a passion for the truth.
I'm protecting womanhood and promoting manhood.
Bringing no-nonsense justice to Americans everywhere.
If you listen, you may learn something.
It's time for Judge Joe.
A 21st birthday celebration takes one man from partier to perp. College student Catherine Talley is suing her former boyfriend for vandalism to her car. Defendant Mark Carrier says he was drunk at the time and is not certain he did it.
Whoa, whoa. So check this out. First of all, men, don't be damaging somebody else's property. That's nonsense. I don't care what they did to piss you off. You don't damage another person's property, male or female. Especially if you know how much work it takes to own your own property. Okay? You don't damage someone else's property. There's no honor or integrity in that. You're going to be a man, you have to be respectable. You're going to respect other people's physical persons, and you're going to respect their personal property. And I was drunk. I don't remember what happened at the time. Ain't nothing good about that. This starting off real ugly.
Now, here's Judge Joe Brown.
Madam Plaintiff, you allege that the defendant, who had at one time, prior to the occasion of the events complained of, had been your boyfriend, is responsible for vandalizing your motor vehicle.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
The
Look at the smug look on his
mischief
face.
was unsolved as to the perpetrator for almost a year when you discovered or received information that the defendant had been involved. You confronted him along with your witness at a bar, and he signed basically an admission and a promise to pay for the damages.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Let me say this, man. Don't sign anything while you've been drinking. Why you signing papers while you've been drinking? He could have signed his life away. How stupid is that? Talking about nonsense right there. Don't sign. Listen, don't go purchase a car. Don't sign a rental lease. Don't do any activity where there's reading involved and the assigning of documents under the influence of any substance. Got me? Good.
You say you were drunk on the night this was supposed to have occurred and you don't recall it, and you were drunk a year later on the event of the purported written confession and admission to the event, so you don't admit to anything because you don't remember that either.
No, I don't. I'm not going to lie. I'm drinking at a bar. I mean, why would you confront somebody at a bar anyway? They're not going to be in the right state of mind.
I was.
I wasn't.
It's not just a bar; it's a pool hall also.
But he's making a valid point though. Why would you confront somebody at a bar? That could turn ugly real fast. She knew he was drinking, but she probably, again, she used to be his girlfriend, so she probably knew he was a drunk idiot, so she could take advantage of him and get him to sign this document. See, she took advantage of the stupidity that's in him. Yeah. By the way, men, if your woman comes to see you at a bar to ask you about anything, that's not the time and place to discuss private matters at a bar. Pool hall and bar, whatever. Doesn't matter. That's not the place. at all. At all. But see, he was inebriated, so he just wasn't abreast to the fact that this was just a nonsense situation from the beginning. As soon as she approached him about the car, she said, hey, let me talk about this later when I'm not drinking. Okay?
A lot of people go there to play darts and everything.
You're 22.
Yeah.
You're 20. Your witness is 20. Why don't you come on up? Both of you go to college down in St. Petersburg, Florida, right?
Correct.
Okay. Tell me your story.
Okay. Mark and I dated in 2003 for about a year. I was 15 at the time. We
Puppy
kept
love.
mutual friends throughout the years, you know, and on October 31st, 2006, it was going to be his 21st birthday, and I knew that he was having a party for Halloween. You know, everybody wanted to dress up. So I asked my mutual friend if it would be okay if I could come to the party, you know, to ask Mark for permission. He said it's okay, so I attended. I drove my new car. I had just gotten my first car for graduating high school, the 2004 Kia Rio, and I drove it there, stayed a few hours, went home. In the morning, I went out to my car, and I saw that the words and were keyed into my trunk and into my bumper. So I called my insurance company. My deductible was $500. At the time, I didn't have money to pay for it, of course, out of pocket. So I drove around for almost 2 years with those words keyed into my car. Had to go to college. You know, it wasn't a pleasant thing to have.
I suppose that was quite embarrassing.
It was.
Oh my, so what led you to the defendant as the suspect?
Our mutual friend, the one that I had asked to invite me to the party for permission, her boyfriend is his friend, and just the word got out that he was the one that keyed my car that night. So that night that I saw him at the pool hall about a year after the incident, I confronted him and I said, hey, you know, did you key my car? And he said, yeah, I did. So I explained that it was $1,000 worth of damage because they would have to take off the emblem and take off the bumper to repaint it. So I kindly asked him to sign a paper, an agreement for $500 because that's what I would have to pay out of pocket. He willingly signed it. Kristen was there with me at the counter where we signed the paper, the agreement. I have it right here.
Pass everything you have up. Now, we have pictures, but my problem is even though this is demonstrative evidence, you wouldn't be able to see much of it because FCC would just have a total fit if they saw the words you described spelled out in there.
Now, let me pause there for a second. If I can't think of anything that a person, particularly a woman, could do to a man that would make him go key her car. That's feminine tendency, man. Can't hurt the woman, so I'm going to hurt her vehicle, right? And sometimes men do that to men too. Can't hurt the man, feel intimidated by the man, don't want to confront the man physically, damage car. That is a coward. That's weak. That's not a man. That is not a man at all. And if that's really his handwriting on the napkin, he signed a napkin. See, nonsense. You're gonna sign a napkin. If that's really his handwriting on the napkin, I mean, it's open and shut case. You owe, bro. You owe, but you're also an idiot. So fellas, don't get in your feelings. Maybe she didn't, maybe he wanted to, have some action, and she went home instead of placating to his, desire, and so he keyed her car like a kid because he didn't get his way. I'm speculating here. I don't know that to be the case, but what would make him do such a foolish thing? It's ridiculous.
Looked at them, and it appears to be quite the case. So I have a promissory note. You were there when he made this agreement, are
Yes,
you not?
I was there when he made the agreement. Not only did I watch him sign it, as well as watch Catherine write it out, but he had also said to me verbally that he did do it as well as other people.
You signed it, too, as
Yes,
witness.
I'm signed.
You heard him admit it.
I heard him admit it. He had said it to my face that he had indeed keyed Kat's car. You know, and most people, if you're guilty, you're not gonna, I mean, if you're innocent, you're not gonna tell someone that you didn't do it.
You don't make admissions against your pecuniary or penal interests.
You know, and he was also going around to what I believe would be bragging and telling multiple people that he had did it, which I don't think it's something you should brag about.
Whatever. I didn't brag to anybody about doing
Whatever.
anything like that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Whatever.
Whatever.
Acting like a child,
you
man.
can have the floor now. Let's go for it.
Just
The
like
night
a
in
child.
question, yes, my 21st birthday. You were not invited because somebody came up to me when I was already drunk and said, Kat is coming to the house. I was drunk to the point where I
Oh,
was just
you
like,
remember that part of the
I
drunk.
don't remember anything
How
after 10
convenient.
p.m.
Well, why?
And even if that isn't even the right time, I remember crawling to a bed, getting in bed, and being woken
Wow.
up by my friend telling me he was taking me home. And that's all I
Hey, listen. I've indulged in alcohol. I've had some bad nights. But we as men, we gotta learn better, okay? Alright? I understand. It's still not right. I understand. Okay, you're having fun. You drank a little too much. But that's, I mean, that can't be normal behavior for you. And it seems like it's normal behavior for him. Like he just habitually is drunk to the point he doesn't remember what happened. Okay? And it is very convenient, like Judge Joe Brown is pointing out, it's very convenient that he remembers specifically, I was already drunk and she was not invited because I was already drunk and didn't want her there. That's what a coinky dink, right? If you believe that, you're a fool like this guy.
Is that all? You're telling me there's nothing else you recall of the events in question on the day that
drinking
this...
a lot of beer. That's what I recall.
Oh, your 21st birthday.
Of course.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
Are we a lush
No.
or just a plain drunkard?
I wouldn't say I'm a drunk or an alcoholic. Alcoholics go to meetings. Drunks drink every day. I drink when I want to have fun.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The defendant in this case says the plaintiff was not invited to his 21st birthday party, and all he remembers is that she attended. He can't really say whether he keyed the plaintiff's car or not. Let's take a look.
You say you were too drunk to remember the events of the evening in question, which appears to have been Halloween night a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
January 4th.
Is his birthday
You
really
don't
Halloween?
remember signing that?
That was a surprise to me when I looked at the subpoena when I first got the subpoena.
Oh, you were full of it that evening in a bar.
Yeah, it's a bar. I drink pitchers, you know.
Pitchers.
Pitchers of beer. Hey.
And
Hey,
it's the 4th of January.
he has like no sense of regret of his actions, right? Like, and he seems to think that if he just acts like he doesn't remember anything, it's all gonna go away. That's not the way the world works, buddy. It's not the way the world works. It didn't then. It's still not to this day. So guys, don't be getting drunk to the point that you can't remember what happened. Because one, you'll do stupid things. Two, you can be accused of things you actually didn't do. So it's a no-nonsense movement, guys. No-nonsense means you don't engage in nonsense, period. Abstinence is more than just for sex. It's for nonsense, too. So don't overdrink. I'm not going to tell you don't drink. Don't overdrink. Know your limit. Know your body. Okay? And don't run the streets while you're drinking. That's probably the dumbest thing you could do. I promise you. You're bound to get into nonsense. Bound.
We're still celebrating the 1st?
Of course. You celebrate for a week after.
Oh, you do?
A couple of my friends
Are
do.
we a lush
Sounds like it.
No.
or just a plain drunkard?
I wouldn't say I'm a drunk or an alcoholic. Alcoholics go to meetings. Drunks drink every day. I drink when I want to have fun.
She's a college student matriculating appropriately. She's a college student matriculating appropriately. And you are a part-time dishwasher?
No, I'm not a part-time dishwasher. I am a prep cook, dishwasher, line cook, and a full-time musician.
Full-time musician. How can you be a musician if in the evening on the 4th you're drunk and you're prepping and cooking? Sounds like you're just a drunk failure.
A drunk failure?
Yeah.
Excuse me? A drunk failure.
Look at the plaintiff.
No, look, as rude as that might have sounded from Judge Joe Brown, listen, I gotta tell you guys, as rude as that might have sounded, it looks that way. It looks that way. Don't be a drunk failure, guys. Don't be a drunk failure. Look at your life. Reevaluate your life. What are you doing right now? Okay? Even though your life is not all about what's your career choice or what job, what company you work for, but really look at your life and say, wait, is this where I wanted to be at? This guy's 22. Is this where I want to be? I want to be an aspiring musician. He's obviously not making money off the music or not enough to sustain himself because he's a line cook, dishwasher, and all of that, right? So if the full-time musician thing was a paid thing, he wouldn't need to do that. So when Judge Joe Brown refers to him as a failure or a drunk failure, I mean, it's not off. It's pretty accurate.
Failure.
Yeah, a drunk failure.
I've heard it all. Nah, I've heard it all, man.
Look,
that I am not a
If you
freak.
look,
take one more step,
he's
I'll
so
have you
immature.
busted for
He
contempt.
walks
This is
out.
under
Contempt,
California. He's
Look
a
at-
little failure who is
Look at
Mr.
that.
Poppin' Fresh.
Look at that.
Yep.
So anyway, you ask for five.
Men don't act like that when you hear the truth. If you hear the truth, if you have a family member or older male who sees through your bull crap, just acknowledge the fact that they're right and man up. You don't have to start using profanity. You want to walk out or you want to fight or whatever. Take a moment to really think. Maybe they got me fingered and they're right. And maybe it's me. Maybe I need to change. Hey, man, we got to do better. It's men against nonsense, right? And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you one last thing. You know what else men don't do, okay? Men don't make other men look bad on purpose, okay? Now, if you just been an upstanding guy and that makes the next guy look bad because he's not upstanding, that's his problem. But you're not going to go out of your way to make another man look bad, okay? That's what you're not going to do. Anyway, don't be a drunk loser.